Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is many a true nerd, welcome back to Fallout Tale of Two Wastelands. Well, last time, we dug up some treasure and met some vampires, and honestly, I am happy with the end result. I have got myself a brand new set of armor, and a beautiful flaming sword too. A good day out, all things considered, but today, we're going to be dealing with business a bit nearer to home. But first, an exciting new episode of Let's Talk All About the Things That John Got Wrong. Because you see, past John took one glance at damage 9 and DPS of 77 and said, oh no, that's terrible, you'd never want to use that, and I forgot something very important indeed, which is, yes, different ammo types come with different benefits, and I forget this all the bloody time. In particular, yes, 5mm ammo comes with a target DT minus 10. So, against your basic raider in the street, that's basically their entire DT. This weapon now just gets to bypass their armor and deliver the full DPS straight into their skulls. Plenty of ammo types don't do this, by the way. This isn't universal by any stretch of the imagination. But it is worth noting on, 5mm in particular. Energy weapons too come with a bit of bonus DT reduction on the target, making them a little bit stronger than they might look at first glance. So you know what, buddy? As an apology, you get to come out with me on an adventure today. And that adventure begins by heading straight back over to Crater Side Supply. Oh, and Moira's got another fun toy for me today as well. The grenade rifle. That is cheap as anything at 59 caps and, this thing comes with a bit of a kick. Still, let's get back to business here, Moira.
The second chapter is going to be a bit trickier, I think. It'll cover how to handle creatures out there, for better or worse. For example, repelling mole rats, learning about Mirelurks, and when all else fails, how to handle being injured. So let's buckle down and get to work on this chapter. What's first?
Okay, so how about a nice warm-up? We take on by far the easiest chapter. Yes, indeed. How to deal with being injured.
Well, I never get to study anyone who's severely injured. Not without them crying to be fixed right away or trying to bleed out and all that. But obviously, you can handle a lot of abuse. So if I'm ever going to find a good example of human anatomy and injury resistance, it'd be you. Next time you get badly injured, return here so I can examine you before I heal you up. I mean, you're going to get yourself hurt anyway, right?
I love Moira. I love her so damn much. So, step outside, we've got to get ourselves injured and also break a couple of limbs. And obviously, if you want a job doing right, you've got to do it yourself. Personally, I find the best way to do this is mines. Now, absolutely, you can just toss yourself off the platform that Moira's shop is set upon, but they can be a bit unreliable. You can accidentally die. Frag mines do a lot of limb damage, and do a surprisingly small amount of actual damage if you're not standing right on top of them. Now, you may well be thinking, John, that's far too near to a mine. You're about to explode. But, no, actually. The game's pretty bloody generous when it comes to the amount of damage you take. If you're just, a step away from the mine, the splash radiuses may be not as big as you might reasonably expect, though I would like this guy to, walk away at this point. Otherwise, he's going to get caught up on the very edge of it. So, right there, barely took any damage at all, but my arms are already half broken. So, okay, just going to continue exploding myself for a second. Mine goes down, take one step back. And there we go. Perfect timing, both my arms broken, and health below 50%. Everything is done. Beautiful.
Now, how would you describe the pain you're feeling? Any advice for how to keep it from being overwhelming? And remember, this is for posterity.
And obviously straight down to the bottom snide option, my only solace is thinking about inflicting this level of pain on you.
Oh, well, aren't you a grouchy one today? What got you in such a bad mood? Oh yeah, the massive physical trauma. Okay, I even stitched a little smiley face in you to keep up your spirits. It's kind of hard to see from your side, though.
So there we go, get myself some meds, an environmental suit, should that be necessary in the future, and on top of that, a kind of like stitched in tattoo on my backside. Brilliant. Still, that's the easy one. Now we're into the more interesting stuff, and today we're going to be kicking off with the mole rat investigation.
Mole rats can burrow into almost anything and cause a lot of trouble. So I figured I'd make a chemical repellent stick for people to shoo them off. But I need it to be tested before I put the recipe to paper in the guide. You could test it out on just a few mole ratties, but for real testing, try it on 10 or more. There should be plenty in the Tepid sewers downtown.
Now, despite what she says, you don't have to actually go to the Tepid sewers. Literally, any mole rats anywhere in the wasteland will do just fine. But we're going to the Tepid sewers anyway because, yes, there are some rather interesting things in that bit of the world. So, back to West Farragut Station. Don't worry about the gunfire over in that direction. That's just some mutants fighting raiders. Honestly, just let them fight it out, then pick off whoever happens to survive, and no problem there whatsoever. In fact, actually, I'm glad I remembered this while I'm passing by West Farragut. There's some good loot if you've got lockpick 50. So, into the small office upstairs, and yep, here comes a safe. There's a laser pistol here if you want it, but honestly, it's really not that good and just not really worth the trouble. Nikola Tesla and you, however, that's a skill book. And then just pass by all the corpses, nip downstairs, and another locked door right over here. Crack that open to get into a lovely utility cupboard. Got yourself a bunch of missiles if you're using that sort of thing. And on top of that, we've got ourselves... okay, a scout handbook. Now, I was wondering what this was going to be, because this here cupboard contains a big gun skill book. And it would appear those have been replaced by scout handbooks, which I'm going to guess improves survival. Obviously, in New Vegas, the Wasteland Survival Guide improves survival. But obviously, they can't put that in this game because I'm literally in the process of writing it. So, okay, that makes a lot of sense, yes. So there we go, very nice indeed, though as I say, if you're just playing the base game, you've not got this mod installed, that'll be boosting big guns, not survival. Okay, back outside, and is the fight over? For the time being, looks like I see, I think, a corpse of a mutant over there, and oh, we've also got ourselves, hang about, I see you down there, I see you, just no, if you'd be so kind, just take a couple of pot shots at the head. Lovely, right there. If we're lucky, we're going to get a crit. A cripple, not so bad, all things considered. Get out of the way, and we've got more trouble yet, mind. We've got... okay, this could be a bigger problem than I was expecting, actually. Hang about, what have I done? Oh, bloody hell, I'm morally good, because I helped out those stupid losers at Arafu. Right, well, we need to get rid of that. I can't be bloody morally good. That's a cooking disaster. Guns away, drop down, just get in the river. I think I know what we need to do. So. Say hello to Wilhelm's Wharf. This is just a lovely shop on the road run by the charming Grandma Sparkle. She has a lovely house filled with Christmas lights. It's just one of the most lovely shacks in the entirety of Fallout 3.
Well, look at this. We got us a wanderer all the way out here in Wilhelm's Wharf. You must got some important business out here to be wandering around, but 'tain't none of my beeswax what you're doing. But if you're interested in trading, maybe we can help each other.
So there we go. Lovely, friendly lady who's happy to respect my privacy and maybe, you know, do a bit of trading that's gonna be mutually beneficial. A lovely, lovely character. Unfortunately, yes indeed, I need to stop being a good person so the Talon mercs stop coming for me. Now, I could just murder Grandma Sparkle. That would be bad. Minus 100 to my karma straight away. However, I do have other options too. Because enslaving Grandma Sparkles, that's also minus 100. Except I also get paid. So, okay, that's what we're going to be doing. So, okay, Granny, just hold still for 1 second, and... oh dear. Things have gone a bit wrong there. So, fun fact about the Mesmetron. The Mesmetron, though it's designed to enslave people by making them all fuzzy so you can get the slave collar on them, that's not all it does. That's what it does the majority of the time, but every time you use this weapon on someone, you're rolling a dice. They are most likely to go all fuzzy, so you can speak to them, steal their stuff, enslave them, etc, etc. However, there are other things too. One of them is frenzy. The character can just become frenzied and start attacking everybody. Can be a good way of assassinating somebody by virtue of, yes, just frenzying them and then running away, leading them into someone else who's going to do the murder for you. And option 3 is their head just explodes, which I think happens about 20% of the time. So just to confirm on this occasion, yep, definitely exploded, but you know what? Though I'm not getting paid, that is still murder. So in honour of Grandma Sparkle, who just died the time I live, yes indeed, we're going to be trading out the sunglasses for her goggles. Brilliant. And I say she died the time I live because, yes indeed, murdering Granny Sparkles has indeed just returned my karma to neutral. So, on the one hand, I helped out Arafu, but on the other hand, I exploded an innocent granny's head. So overall, those two things balance out. And the nice thing is, of course, she's actually a proper vendor. So yes, back in Fallout 3, if you killed a vendor and you took the key off their corpse, you could access their stash. So literally everything in her store is now available for me to take. Her entire life savings, all of the stuff she would have actually sold to me, magnificent. Oh, and she was sitting on a giant pile of her ammo inside as well. Oh, this is lovely. Oh, and another advantage to coming this way, of course, yes indeed, as we start approaching the Anchorage War Memorial, we are going up across the Mined Bridge. And the Mined Bridge means 10 million mines for me. Brilliant. Still, just be a bit careful as we actually approach the memorial itself, because up top on the memorial, there is a random event, an A-type, generally the less dangerous of the two, but still, so hang about. That is just a centaur. Nothing too dramatic. Okay, I don't immediately hear gunfire. Might be something nice, like, say, a trader or whatnot. To date, nothing. But, for the time being, you know what? Decent vantage point to take some pot shots at some lovely centaurs. Because, yes, though they do have a range attack, it is very, very slow and not too difficult to avoid. So let's just take you out, buddy. Thanks to all that lovely ammo the Grandma Sparkle just gave us. Thank you so much, Grandma Sparkle. Right, that should be the end of you guys. Any Mirelurks around here? Oh, that reminds me, by the way. Fun follow-up, not something that John got wrong. In fact, actually, it's time for an episode of Let's Talk All About the Things That John Got Right. Righter than I was expecting. Yes, last episode, when we ran into a Mirelurk, I said they always made me think of a Power Rangers monster. Like a guy in a big rubber suit. And it turns out that was intentional. Back in 2018, Jonah Loeb, who was one of the character designers who came up with the Mirelurk design in Fallout 3, actually did an interview where he confirmed that his inspiration for the Mirelurk design in Fallout 3 was a 1950s kitschy B-movie. So they're kind of supposed to look like big dumb rubber monsters to suit the Fallout kitschy 1950s theme. Though in the end he also concluded he wasn't entirely happy with the end result and liked the design in Fallout 4 better. So I wasn't wrong. In fact, I was much more right than I was expecting. Right, and as for you, buddy, this is the perfect time for me to try out my grenade rifle. Alright, this is beautiful. This will be just perfect. And one last grenade takes you down, buddy. Lovely. Oh, the grenade rifle. It is a thing of beauty. So good at dealing with early game enemies. Anyway, that's all done. That brings me to the Tepid Sewers, which is a very interesting dungeon indeed if you do it as part of Wasteland Survival Guides. Because yes, the objective is to boot mole rats on the head with this stick. The problem is, this dungeon doesn't just contain mole rats, it also contains raiders. So it kind of forms like a speedrun. You're trying to get to the mole rats before the raiders do. Though once you know that, yes, any mole rat will do, it doesn't just have to be these ones, it's not really such a problem at all. So, you know, do what you can, give these guys a boot. This stick does just make their heads explode in 2 hits, which is beautiful. And yeah, get as many as you can, that you can hear some gunfire in the distance already. So yes, the raiders are already doing their own thing. We just want to give these guys a boot. Lovely. I think I see in the distance over there. That is a dead mole rat. Very, very sad indeed. So that's a mole rat I can't take out. Still, I will take out that lovely turret. Apparently, that guy didn't hear his turret exploding. That's unusual, but fine. And also, oh, blimey. I'm surprised you, yes, didn't die there, but this is a nice little sniping corridor, I suppose. Oh, and there's also, oh, hang on, why are there so many mole rats now running around the corner? Oh, hang on. I think they just finished off that guy, because I weakened them. So, okay, me and you, mole rats, we are apparently on the same team. Why are all the mole rats now coming? I think I've upset the mole rats, and I don't know why. But that's 7 mole rats, so, that's good. Unfortunately, yes, later in, I have not been so lucky. A handful of mole rats are already killed by the raiders. So, at this point, you could just, you know, turn back and either find some other mole rats, go back to Moira saying, you know what, I've done the basic objective, that's fine. But no. No. We want to keep going deeper into the Tepid sewers. Because if we just step out into the, yes, platform itself, hang about, we will find in just a moment, don't mind me, Rock Salt. This guy is the leader of the raiders, and he is very, very interesting indeed. Which is to say, though this guy is a named character, his appearance is completely randomized, including gender. So Rock Salt can look like anything and be a man or a woman. I think the only instance in Fallout 3 of a named character who has a randomized appearance. So we're just going to step back, and you know what, actually, we were saying earlier, the Zhunlong assault rifle should actually do a very, very good job against this guy. He's wearing basic light raider armor. How about we just let him come to us, assuming he actually is going to. There we go. Wait, hang on. Hang on. Can I... No, this is Fallout 3. You can't VATS mines. If we can get the... I missed the mine. That's kind of embarrassing. Oh, yeah. That is doing way more damage than a damage 9 gun should do. But this DT minus 10 on the actual ammo, especially if I get just 1 crit. So, go. Oh, yeah. We are just bypassing all this armor right here. That is not bad. That is not bad at all. And, okay, we finally took out the thing. We did take out the thing. Just close that. Admittedly, we're burning through ammo. Like... so fast right now. That's a ridiculous level of ammo being burnt through. How's your head doing, buddy? Okay, your head's not great, but this should be enough to finish you off. And down you go. Rock Salt is dead. Beautiful. Still, get his key just in case we need that down the line. And now we just keep on keeping on, though. Do watch out for mines, traps, etc. For some reason, this bit of the world is just swimming in mines. Anyway, just push past his blockade, and yes, indeed, there are a handful of more mole rats right over here. Is that going to be enough to get us to the 10? I think we're on 9 right now, actually. So, actually, yes, hang on, there are... Oh, hang on, there's even more up ahead. So, finish you off, and if we are lucky, 7 more mole rats at 3 plus 7, 10 in total, so that's it. So, at this point, we could turn back, but no. No. You may have noticed we're in, well, okay, the service corridors around a train line. That means we're in the DC ruins, and that means we're going into the next DC bubble. Oh, and here's nice from a raided corpse in the base. Police pistol from Dead Money in New Vegas, and that is, that's not bad. I mean, damage 17 with bonus crit. That's actually pretty decent, you know. Anyway, keep on keeping on, and we make our way to the next station. So yes, we're now ready to go overground, so welcome to Georgetown. So, first things first, I know there's enemies around because 1, a compass, and 2, can't wait, so probably it's super mutants. There are a fair few super mutants in this bit of the world, so just... Yep. There they are, just back away. I'm already in danger. Right, I'm waiting for someone to... Yep, there we go. I'm waiting for someone to come to me, at which point I give them the old 1-2 can in the face. Beautiful. Right, with one done, the other one... You are hanging out upstairs. Well, okay, you're not sniping me right now. Grab the can. Oh, there's more here than I was expecting, actually. I may have just made a mistake, or possibly a series of mistakes, because I'm definitely hearing more. Let's just get... Excuse me. Hi. Don't mind me. No. There we go. Just use cover and his inability to aim to my advantage. And no, you don't, buddy. Just keep putting cans over there. There we go. And now you don't have anything. Lovely. Right. Are there any more for any more? Think I see a centaur down over there. Don't mind me, buddy. Plenty of cans for everybody. Alright. Everybody dead? Yes, indeed they are. But I'm now down like 100 bloody cans. Dear, oh bloody dear. And now we can go a bit deeper into Georgetown. But John, I hear you cry. Why did you come here? What precisely was the point? Well, I like this area because a lot of effort's been put into a couple of really fun things in it. And I suspect many of you have never seen it because the game never actually tells you to come here. So we enter through the metro. Over to the right, there are a handful of shops. You can actually go in a couple of them. We'll be coming back to those lads later. But instead, yes, just head round to the left over here, and there's a canal with a bridge over it, down over in that direction. That's a door into another bit of the underground right over there. Don't worry about that. Instead, yes, we're going along the canal towards the residential district, because there is one house over here that has had a ridiculous amount of effort and thought put into it. And the canal brings us to, yes, Foggy Bottom Station. That is actually on the map right here. And yes, if you're curious, you can actually go underground right now and go either west to Arlington or east to Metro Central. This is one of the, yes, fully connected lines at this exact moment in time. Though I'm also being... Okay, someone's also trying to shoot me. I should probably focus on that just for a second. Come on, buddy. Let's come say hi. There's plenty of cans for everybody. And, okay, we're getting into bigger stuff here. We've got brutes armed with Chinese assault rifles. Well, la-dee-da. And no, you don't get to have an assault rifle, actually. Just drop it. Drop it. Never mind, he didn't drop it. But he did bring a centaur with him. So, no. I love how effective the rocket launcher is. It's beautiful. And here we go. Just past that mutant right here, we find our destination. The MacLeod family, 2026 Bradley Place, no solicitors please. Now some of you, just from some of the words in front of you, will immediately know what this is a reference to. But, okay, let's just nip inside and say hi. Because at first glance, this appears to just be a townhouse like any other. Very similar to many that you see throughout the Wastelands. Bedroom upstairs, kitchen downstairs, a small study right here. Nothing too dramatic at all, until you go round the corner in this direction and see we've got a robot. And using the computer, this robot can be given various orders, such as walk the dog, make a meal, pick up the groceries, all the rest of it. So say, tell it to prepare a meal.
Souffle recipe error, no eggs found.
And yes, indeed, sadly, the Mr. Handy cannot create a souffle because there are no eggs. So, okay, a robot in Fallout that doesn't seem to be aware the apocalypse has happened. That's hardly unique, but this one, in fact, is a bit special, because this entire house is a reference to a short story written by Ray Bradbury about a robot house that keeps trying to run itself even after the apocalypse has happened and all the people are long dead. That's why the address outside is Bradley Place, and also, yes, slightly more obscurely, why it's 2026 Bradley Place. In the original story, when it was first published, the year the story took place was 2026. Though, if you read a more modern publishing, I believe they've updated the date and moved it forward in time, because 2026 was getting a bit too nearby. And just in case you need absolute categorical proof, yes, tell the Mr. Handy to read the children a bedtime poem.
There will come soft rains and the smell of the ground, and swallows circling with their shimmering sound, and frogs in the pool singing at night, and wild plum trees in tremulous white. Robins will wear their feathery fire, whistling their whims on a low fence wire, and not one will know of the war. Not one will care at last when it is done, Not one would mind, neither bird nor tree, if mankind perished utterly. And Spring herself, when she woke at dawn, would scarcely know that we were gone.
And that poem gives Ray Bradbury's short story its name, There Will Come Soft Rains. The original poem not by Ray Bradbury himself, but instead written in 1918 by Sarah Teasdale. In fact, originally written about World War I, hence the references to mud and fences, i.e. the trenches and barbed wire. Still, it wouldn't be Fallout if there wasn't, a dark comic twist to the whole situation. In the original story, a dog makes its way into the house, and the AI running the place acknowledges it as the family pet, but it dies almost immediately and is thus incinerated. So, if we just ask the robot to walk Muffy, the Mr. Handy will now go outside and attempt to locate Muffy, meaning it's very important you've taken out all the local mutants before doing this, and do keep your distance, by the way.
Time for your walk, family pet.
And despite the enthusiasm of the Mr. Handy, yes, in the back garden, there is indeed a dead dog, but obviously, yes, he can never actually walk it, because it is very, very much dead. Don't go up to it, by the way. He will take offense and attempt to murder you. Home security mode just puts him into fighting the mutants outside, but he will almost certainly lose, so don't count on him to do that. Instead, yes, just let him read poetry. He's better at it, though if you send him to pick up the grocery order, he will now make his way, at quite some speed it must be said, back to the shops we saw at the start. Oh, I've got bad news for the robot, though. Yes, I suspect, yeah, I thought so. Mutants appear to have respawned around here. So, okay, robot friend, you help me out as best you can, but I suspect we're about to be in a lot of trouble, actually. Oh, there's even a cooking master here. Oh, that's not cool, game. That's not cool at all. Okay, just put some lovely, yes, everything into him. We might be able to take out a master that's on fire with the assistance of this robot if we could just... Oh, bloody hell. Masters, they hit pretty bloody hard, actually. Right, pop some Psycho, and how about a dose of Ultra Jet? You see, I saw the comment saying I was never going to use this. No, I found a moment right now. Okay, admittedly I died before it actually had any effect whatsoever, but still I did remember its existence. Okay, this time this is going better. The master is... Oh dear. Okay, the robot's dead, but the master is almost dead too. We actually took out a super mutant master, bloody hell. Right, there's another brute here. No, I'm not dying to you after taking out a master. Okay, not acceptable. Just fire cans into his head until he dies, please. There we go, we're almost out of bloody... We're almost out of cans, aren't we? Oh, I bet my cans have all gone in the bloody river too. I'm sorry, Mr. Handy Robot. I didn't mean for you to die. Okay, we are now very low on the old tin can, so that sure makes it bloody convenient. There's a supermarket right here. Well, it's hardly spectacular, but it's gonna have to do. Especially as, yes, my real destination is Radiation King, 2 doors down. Because fascinatingly, there's actually a friendly living in here. He's just a perfectly normal scavenger, nothing dramatic on him at all, but I will not say no to 32 ammo. That's pretty good for the price. There's a good selection of, more technical loot in here, but I'd say the most interesting thing is actually... Can't help but notice, buddy, you've got yourself, yes, a beautiful, beautiful combat shotgun. And I'm not convinced you should. I think actually I should be the one to... Did you just miss him? Bloody amazing right there. Right, you buddy. You are going down. Just blast him with cans and then finish you off. How on earth is that worth 50 XP? That's as much XP as I just got for taking out a master outside. Oh, it's literally broken. It was just for show. Oh, I feel bad now. Okay, you know what? It's fine. If I just take that, then Moira can fix it up down the line. This was not for nothing. Now, there is a tiny bit more to Georgetown than what we've seen. So, if you were to just keep going southeast, there are a couple more locations inside this very large DC bubble. But one of those we are going to be sent back to later as part of a tiny submission in Broken Steel. So, put a pin in that. I'd say that's enough Georgetown for today. Because instead, well, that metro station we passed through to actually get here a whole bunch of raiders and a whole bunch of mole rats. Now, you may or may not be wondering, hang on, why were there a whole bunch of raiders in a mole rat infested station? Surely they would have, you know, cleared out the mole rats long ago. Well, that's because they don't live in the Tepid sewers. They only just arrived specifically to hunt mole rats. Now, the game doesn't actually say this, but yes, if you refer to my best friend in the entire world, the Fallout 3 official game guide, that decides to flesh out this mission just a tiny amount and say that those guys, they are actually working for somebody else. Somebody who lives in Jury Street Metro that we visited last week. So here we are back at Jury Street, we just don't seem to be able to get away. But today we actually are going underground into the station proper. Now the station itself isn't anything too special. Like many stations in this game, it's just been turned into a small raider base. So watch out for a handful of raiders that are going to be around somewhere or another. Help yourself to tin cans. Everybody loves a tin can. Still, a handful of raiders is never a bad thing, always useful for, you know, getting yourself pushed up a level or two. So, a couple of cans into you sends you flying, beautiful, and there we go, that should be just enough to hit level 9. And this level, everything's going into guns. I feel like I'm falling a little bit behind on the straight up damage dealing. So, guns, straight up to 53, please. But yes, back to where we were, this station right here, it goes a lot deeper than you might reasonably expect. So just check the side rooms and we've got a sub-dungeon, the Jury Street Tunnels. Effectively, a sewer system. That most sexy and exciting of all video game sub-dungeons. But containing one very fun thing indeed, which is just go over to here and say hello to Ryan Brigg. The man who is, according to the Fallout 3 official strategy guide at least, yes, the reason there were raiders in the Tepid sewers. Given, yes, they're clearly not supposed to live there, because Moira was well aware that Tepid sewers were known as a location where a large number of mole rats lived. That's why she sent you there. The raiders were recent arrivals, and they were sent by this guy right here, who we're going to murder right now. Sadly, he's just hostile when you meet him. There's nothing you can do to actually have a chat about, you know, what he's trying to do down here. Yes, indeed, you may notice this lad has been doing some experimentation into mole rat meats. And crack open his terminal, and we figure out precisely why. I finally done it. Who would have thought the simple combination of mole rat meat and wonder glue would have been the answer? Curing the mixture together in a box produces a sort of jerky that is very pleasant to the palate, chewy with a nutty taste, eliminating the usual toughness and bitter flavour. So, just help myself to all the meat that's just sitting around right here. And on top of that, help myself to some wonder glue, which just became rather useful indeed because here's the finished product. Mole rat wonder meats. And now I've been here, I can make more. Simply by coming to the wonder meat maker. That takes out one mole rat meat and one wonder glue from my inventory and gives me the wonder meat back. This room is full of glue and meat, so we can make a fair bit of it right now. And on top of that, a speech skill book as well. Oh, and while we're in here, by the way, say hello to Pumpkin. Pumpkin is a tame pet mole rat who this guy decided not to eat because she was just too damn cute. So we're not going to kill Pumpkin because I'm not a monster. There is a tiny bit more to this guy's story. I think there's another terminal somewhere in this, sewer system. Basically just saying he failed a lot before he managed to get to the solution, though. This is a really weird dungeon. Because, yeah, you can walk from the station to this door, and that takes you to the end, where the magic box is. Alternatively, you can just go further in this direction. There's another door, which is further away from where you start, that brings you into a different bit of the dungeon, where you have to go past many raiders in order to get to the end, which you could have just walked into anyway. The point is, we now know where the magic wonder box is. So, yeah, you can just use that to make very sticky meat if that's what you want to do. In which case, back to Moira to turn that in, and unfortunately, Moira, your repellent stick has actually caused, yes, some rather explosive results.
It's horrible! You're horrible! Oh, this thing is horrible! Everything's horrible! Oh! With that much testing, I guess it's beyond correction. Oh, go ahead and keep it. Maybe you can find a nicer use for it, but I doubt it. Oh, but for your trouble, here, have the leftover chems from working on the repellent. I'm sure you can find some use for them.
I do enjoy that particular snide check, given it makes Moira call you horrible. Which is not untrue, I did explode Granny's head earlier this episode. Anyway, the last bit of the chapter, the Mirelurks, which weirdly is going to take me precisely back to the start of the Tepid sewers, because these tasks just happen to start next to each other.
Yes, knowing more about them can help people learn to avoid or even outsmart them. So I picked up this observer device to study them in their natural habitat. I need you to hide one in one of the spawning pods in their lairs.
So, nice and easy, let's get it done. So, we need to get the device into their nest, and don't kill any Mirelurks in the Anchorage War Memorial. Though, if you've killed them before this mission begins, that's not counted against you, so yeah, you can just go and clear it ahead of time if that's what you want to do. And crucially, Moira. Combat shotgun, let's go. Now that's gonna do the job, absolutely. So, back to the Tepid sewers, where we literally just were, then just, yes. Turn right, and that's where you need to go. Now, fortunately, it doesn't matter if you haven't already taken out the local Mirelurks. The ones outside don't count. It's only the ones inside we need to worry about. And seriously, this is the door you want to be going through. Do not go through the front door. Alright, it is a surprisingly large dungeon that we're going to be getting back to in just a second. But for now, yes, Moira's business is super easy to take care of. Just crack open a very easy lock, and for absolute safety, pop a stealth boy if that's what you want to do. So just pop that, in we go, and yes, this door just brings you right into the perfect spot to get this done. So just sneak around you. No trouble, buddy. Straight to here. Hide the device. Get out again. The game doesn't actually care if you, like, get spotted and chased out or anything. It's just, nice to feel like you've done it properly, where you've not even disturbed them in the slightest. And that's it. If you just go in the back door, it's so easy. But if you do it that way, you miss out on, yes, perhaps the far more interesting bit of the Anchorage War Memorial. Because, yes, for whatever reason, this dungeon right here contains one of the best hidden mysteries of the entire bloody game. Still, just in case going inside and killing the Mirelurks now ruins the mission with Moira, let's go and turn that in immediately. So, head back and tell her a completely made-up story about a small bubbling castle.
Really? Are you kidding me? No, really, are you? Huh? Guess I'll have to wait and see what I get from the observer. Some of these observations about their armor and camouflage gave me an idea for reinforced neutral-colored headgear. Here, consider it thanks for not interfering with them. Oh, speaking of which, take these, so you can continue to avoid them in the future.
It's a really good reward, by the way. 4 stealth boys and the shady hats. So, that's enough Moira for now. We could begin the final chapter, but not just this second. As I say, there's a bit more to do back in Anchorage. Though seriously, the shady hat is a really nice indeed. Like, no DT, which is a bit of a shame, but sneak +5. It's a lovely hat. So, back to Anchorage. This time we're going in the front door because, as I say, this dungeon contains a ridiculously well-hidden secret. Like, in general, Fallout 3 doesn't go out of its way to hide stuff from you. If you just, go in all guns blazing, explore thoroughly, you can get pretty much everything you need out of any given dungeon. It's just at the end, in a safe or something. But, no. This particular dungeon has a truly bizarre hidden reward to it, and I think I can explain precisely why that might be. So, start off by heading inside and going down to the bottom. There's going to be some, yes, Mirelurks as needed taking care of. So, no you don't, buddy. As soon as you turn around and, ow, bloody hell. Still, that can take care of that for me. Lovely. And there we go. Down you go, you stupid. There's more of them, aren't there? So, okay, we can deal with them one by one. Say hello to Ted. Poor dead Ted. He's already dead when you arrive. Nothing you can do to save poor Ted. but Ted does have the beginnings of a very complex mystery on him. Ted, the Mirelurks busted out of storage and have been raising a hell in the whole facility. Price says the bastards get smarter every day, he says I'm paranoid, but I think someone might be sabotaging things around here. We've taken on so much extra help, I don't know who I can trust anymore, things don't look good. I don't think I'll be walking out of here, and I figure you should be the one to get our stash. I managed to get it pretty well hidden in case something like this happened. I don't want any of those damn fools tripping over it, so I throw a couple of curves in, but nothing you can't handle. Start with my terminal, just log in and follow the instructions. If for some reason you've forgotten the password, you might want to sit down and have a think with a Nuka-Cola if you catch my drift. If this damn meat weren't in such high demand, I'd have pulled out of this racket before the word go. I got too greedy, Ted. So, basically, we're dealing with the same setup twice in a row. Just like what's-his-face in the Jury Street Metro was trying to set up a meat production facility for mole rats, these guys were trying to set up a Mirelurk meat production facility. But unfortunately, the Mirelurks were nasty, and someone was sabotaging the place. And because this isn't a mission proper, there's no quest markers. You've got to figure it all out for yourself. So sit down and enjoy a nice relaxing Nuka-Cola, the note says. Well, how about we instead check behind the Nuka-Cola machine, and that's where the access code for his PC is. And as for the PC in the same room, just open that up nice and fast. Plenty of this doesn't do anything but unlock secure medical safe. Ted, remember I hid this stash for you to find, and don't trust anybody, especially anybody who works for me. Do this alone. I busted the storage door down near the service elevator. There's a floor safe in the clinic that contains the parts to fix the broken door. I also left you a repair manual, just in case you've gotten a bit rusty. You were always fine with the wrench. I'm sure you'll be okay. Now get going. So once again, we are now tracking down this loot without really knowing anything about it or having any markers or anything to help us out. Just follow the clues. So go into the room marked clinic, crack open the safe, and there's Dean's electronics, and there's the door components. That gets me repair up by 2, though I'm suddenly actually a bit, worried. Hang on, my repair is... oh, my repair's only 23. Oh, that is nowhere near what I need, actually. Unless, of course, hang about. Vault 101 utility jumpsuit, get that on. That gets my repair up to 28. Then I'm 7 shy, and because my intelligence is 7, that means the maximum I could boost that is 6. Except, hang on, no! I can salvage this in a way that is so perfect I couldn't even have planned this. All I need to complete this dungeon is 2 copies of Dean's electronics to boost my repair up, and by sheer bloody coincidence, I'm pretty sure I've walked past 2 this very episode. Okay, head back to the Tepid sewers. Here we go, right next to where Rock Salt tries to ambush you. Go into his little side area. I completely forgot there was a flipping Dean's electronics right there. And then if we just return to the Jury Street Metro, again, where I just bloody was, I know there's supposed to be a book around here. I think it might have got... it's supposed to be right here. I think possibly there may have been a grenade, possibly one... there it is. Holy flip me. Right, well that turned out well, because now I can read book number 1 and read book number 2 and put on my utility jumpsuit. That gets me to repair 32, and then if I just quickly down a quick mentat, that should get me 36. Well, this was just meant to be. Now, eyes open because there are still Mirelurks dotted about, but that's fine because I am wearing... well, I'm wearing a shady hat. Hasn't really helped much, but to be honest, they're really going to struggle to get to me in, like, many ways. In fact, you know what? This works really well for an explosives expert. Right, buddy, have a grenade. How about 2? Maybe even 3. I'm feeling generous. Now, this may or may not land properly, and you know what? That worked pretty bloody well, actually. There's another one upstairs. They're going to struggle to navigate. That one didn't really work. Explosives are... uh-oh. I definitely see someone coming in from above. So, okay, just maybe get an actual gun out at some point or another. I'm sure everything's going to be a-okay. It's all going to be fine. It's all going to be a-okay. This is okay. We're just going to shoot this one in the face. It's going to be fine. I'm going to shoot it like once in the face. Then it's going to be difficult to get it in there. Now I'm trapped in the corner. Now I'm... Oh dear. The reason I died, by the way, is because I was still wearing the utility armor. So I had no DT. Cocking genius. On the corpse at the top of the room, however, the Merc's orders. Because yes, the plot in this place is surprisingly complicated too. In short, the lad who wrote the note to Ted was not paranoid. There was indeed sabotage. Traders have been making a killing with Mirelurk meat, we've been losing business. One of our people got in with a caravan supplier, we know where it's coming from. The meat's mostly coming from one group holed up along the river, smack in the middle of the ruins. There's a huge old facility under some war memorial where they've herded up a nest of Mirelurks and have been breeding and butchering them. They've been in business for months and are sure to be sitting on a pile of caps. Yes, indeed. These guys were making a killing with Mirelurk meat and someone decided to sabotage the place to get them out of the market. Okay, take out anything in this room and your next objective is to find your way to the stash part 1. So, okay, one way is to go through the very brightly lit up red door here into service. Then just take a left and go down in this direction. Right where we were a second ago with Moira. So you can just go outside, loop around and come in the back way. That's absolutely fine too. Now that mission's over, by the way, doesn't matter that we've killed everybody, Moira won't mind. And we're looking for this door in the corner. Utility door. Now, if you just come across this, you need repair of, it's either 90 or 95. Something ridiculous that no one will ever have because repair is just not a skill worth getting up to like 90, 100. It's just not. Fortunately, I've got the door components. That's why I only need 35. But if you don't have this door component, yeah, ridiculous 90 plus repair check. So, put on the utility jumpsuit. Do some mentat sand. This should be just enough to fix the door by inserting the missing part. Brilliant. And that gets me into what is not actually the bloody stash. Instead, a whole bunch of good loot, absolutely, but this is kind of a red herring, in a way. This is not actually what you want, though I will not say no to another scout handbook. And because I've just got a soft spot for anything that's got a unique name, I won't turn down the Tenderizer either, a unique variant of Sledgehammer. And this is precisely what I expect to see. So, the Tenderizer is and always has been a really good, better variant of Sledgehammer. However, there was indication in the game's code that what it was supposed to do when you hit a character with it was reduce their damage resistance. But the code didn't work right, so the Tenderizer doesn't work in Fallout 3. Naturally, of course, this mod's fixed it. So if you're a melee user, knocking down your opponent's armor, not bad at all. But what you're really after is the key right here. The stash is hidden downstairs in one of the freezers. Rocky sets it up, you know his style. Don't forget the key, you'll need it to unlock the compartment. So, not exactly the most helpful guide, given there are many freezers in this area. And on top of that, there's a nasty sting in the tail here. Just go down and down and down some more. Basically, yes, keep going down and you'll eventually reach this lovely room right here. You know you're in the right place because there's some hooks hanging from the ceiling. And the final secret ultimate super stash is one of these three. I think it's this one on the right if I'm remembering correctly. And it's not marked as a stash, it's just marked as a refrigerator. And you have been walking past refrigerators this entire bloody time. So easy to just, walk straight past this, not give it a second thought. And even if you do happen to notice it, and you're obsessed with collecting every Mirelurk cake because they are really good healing items, yes, indeed. One last sting in the tail here. If you just open this fridge without having the key, it just operates like a normal fridge does. And even bloody worse, if you have perception lower than 5, you cannot find the secret compartment. And in Fallout 3, perception is not a good special stat, meaning there's a fair few characters out there that probably don't have that. So, if you've never explored this dungeon fully yourself before, I know what you're thinking. John, what is it? What could be so amazing that it would appear to be hidden better than any other secret in the entirety of bloody Fallout 3? And, yes, the the answer may surprise you a bit. Because aside from the cake, same as every other freezer, and a handful of bottle caps, the actual secret thing of note that they have gone to all this effort to bloody hide is the recipe for Mirelurk cakes. And okay, that might sound reasonable after all. Mirelurk cakes are a really, really good item. Look at that healing, that's actually pretty bloody nice, aside from, yes, the slight issue. Don't forget, this is Fallout 3. There's no cooking in this game. That was introduced by Fallout New Vegas and continued with Fallout 4. Fallout 3 didn't have cooking, and it doesn't matter even if you could, because bread, mayonnaise, these items can't be found in Fallout 3, and I think possibly I may have figured out what this is. Now this is pure speculation, but I think what this is a bit of a love letter to Fallout's original creator, Tim Kaine. And the reason I say that is because Tim Kaine wasn't just an incredible video game developer, he was also super into his cooking. There are many stories of him bringing in food for the team to try during the development of Fallout. And there are all sorts of weird fingerprints this has left over the Fallout franchise, such as, for example, the instruction manuals for Fallout and Fallout 2 contain recipes, not in-game recipes for flavour or anything, actual real-world recipes that you can follow. I will put some of them on screen right now. And if you want more of a smoking gun tying Tim Kaine to these recipes, you may notice on the page on the left a rather unusual Vault Boy, featuring a beard, glasses, and not the usual haircut. And every one of those features matches Tim Kaine. This is literally Tim Kaine as a cooking Vault Boy. But okay, with that context, let's get back to Fallout 3, because now I think we can explain what's going on here. This is entirely speculation, I can't find any hard evidence to support this theory, but it is my belief that the Mirelurk cake recipe was Bethesda's way of trying to continue this rather fun tradition started by Tim Kaine. But by 2008, many people were downloading games. They didn't even have an instruction manual, so you couldn't just put the recipe in there. Instead, they had to put it in the game itself. Because absolutely, in Fallout 3, you can't make this recipe. However, what I've shown you so far isn't the entire recipe. It's not just a list of ingredients, it's an entire recipe. If you just make a couple of substitutions, you can actually make this. Just replace the Mirelurk with crab meat and the scrub plant with onion, and this is a real recipe for crab cakes you could make at home. And that, I think, is what this is. It's just a love letter to a really fun tradition that Tim Kaine started way back in 1997. Except, of course, for one final sting in the tail, which is, in Fallout 3, this may have just been an Easter egg, but in Fallout Tale of Two Wastelands, we can cook. Because before I went and did this mission, I checked. Only 2 Mirelurk recipes were available. Mirelurk cakes were not. But they've just appeared, so now you actually can make them, though unfortunately, yes, there needs to be an element of improvisation, given the actual ingredients are not available. So instead, mix Mirelurk eggs with ant eggs and Instamash, and apparently that's how it's going to be done. I can't make them right this second, because yes, I don't have Instamash, I don't have ant eggs, but just such a lovely attention to detail in this mod that finally, after all these years, we can actually make the Mirelurk cakes. Alright, it is no longer an Easter egg, we can now actually do it. And to wrap up today, how about one final lovely surprise?
Another of those damn love letters arrived for you.
And there we go, letter number 2 from my darling Mr. Burke. Beloved, the pain of your absence is at times crippling, but I must persevere. I must. It is very important work I'm doing for mankind. Oh, but I wish I could sweep it all away to be with you now. Be patient, love. I will send for you soon. Yours, so very truly, Mr. Burke. Oh, this truly is a romance for the ages. And with that, I would say that's enough for now. But next time, I think I know what our priority needs to be, which is, yes, I'm feeling a little bit flimsy on the old weapon front. So we might need to make a couple of expeditions to get my loadout improved, because yeah, I'm definitely feeling like I do not have the hitting power, I do not have the ammo to keep up with, yes, in particular, nastier enemies, such as Mirelurk hunters. So yes indeed, another treasure hunt kicking off next week, but this time we are after some really nice guns. Hopefully you're looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Fallout, Tale of Two Wastelands. Thank you very much, and goodbye. If we just hide the bodies, nobody needs to know about this. Yes! My stupid plan has worked! It turns out I'm a genius! The giant rad scorpion is not gone! Oh, hang on, there's more yet though, I'm still being very shocked. Guys, where's the NCR? Nobody needs to know.